welcome to Show and Tell. Our guest today is magician John George. John performs corporate events all around the country. He's also a regular at the Magic Castle in Hollywood and Warren and Annabelle's in Maui. John's going to share with us today some very unique things he has built into his home, some sliding bookcases, a theater. You're going to be fascinated by this, and also some unique Disney items. They're one of a kind. Please welcome our guest today, Mr. John George.
Hey, Dana, how's it going?
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm just rolling a coin on my knuckles in my dressing room.
Wow, that's typical. Yeah. You know, John, it's so nice during the pandemic. A lot of us walk around the house wearing our pajamas and T-shirts, and you spend the day in the tuxedo.
Well, I'm in my daytime tuxedo. You can see I've got all these other tuxedos up here. You know, later on, I'll be getting into my evening tuxedo.
Oh, so all you own is tuxedos.
That's it. I go to bed in a tuxedo. You know, that's all I got.
Too much information here. Well, you look great, my friend.
Oh, thank you. It's good to see you.
Great. Hey, before we start showing things here in your collection, in your home, which I've been to many times, and I'm very excited about what you're going to tour and show everybody. Tell a little bit, everyone, how we met. I think it's a fun story.
Okay, well, I knew you long before you knew me. I was just
and that's where the weirdness begins, folks.
As you put it, I was a snot-nosed kid running around Disneyland. My dad worked at Disneyland. I could get in for free. And,
I remember your dad. Yep.
And so I would go and watch you, and I'd watch the jugglers. And my favorite thing was I almost always knew that if we went to one of the picnics, there was an employee picnic for Disneyland, that you would not be juggling. Most of the time, you'd be doing strolling magic. That was my recollection anyways.
Yes, I also did stage shows, too.
What's that?
I also did stage shows at those, too.
Yeah. So I was always excited to see you at the picnics because I knew it was going to be more than just juggling, and because I was, really into magic. And so I'd follow you around the park. I would kind of be like, hey, when are you coming back from break? And I'd be waiting for you. And I believe you say you have no recollection of any of this.
I have no memory of this. I mean, yeah. First of all, it was a long time ago. You looked really different because you were, 13?
Yeah, but I haven't grown in height at all.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Well, maybe you haven't changed that much. You still have that youthful boy look about you. Now so you followed me around when I was a juggler, and then also, did you follow me around when I was in Frontierland doing the Riverboat Gambler?
No, I didn't know you were there until it was too late.
That's where I did most of my magic, was that.
Yeah, so that was the thing, is I mostly knew your magic from being, I knew your juggling from being in the park.
And I did magic in Fantasyland too, but
Yeah. So,
well, that's really fun.
How we met, but now we in Maui.
Now we work together.
Yeah, and which is great because I love the fact that I get to tell the audience after my show that I tell them this story of my first real live magician being at Disneyland, and then say, well, and he's your next performer. For me, it's a lot of fun.
So, before we go any further, what do you have the show as today?
Well, the stuff that I have, some of it is their physical things, but I wanted to kind of show you some of the things I've done to my house that are quite different than your average everyday home. So, shall we start?
Start, please.
Okay, so this mirror over here, this is where I would get ready, get my tuxedo on, check the bow and everything.
Yeah.
But it actually opens up. And we're now looking through a two-way mirror right here, and that's my bookcase. So we're going to open that up, and we can look out here. And I've got this rolling ladder that I got from Borders when they closed down and they said they were selling everything. I was like, I want the ladder, and they're like, we're not selling the ladder. And I said, Give me the manager. It says everything's for sale. The manager comes over. He goes, yeah, we're not selling the ladder. I said, are you the head manager? He says, no. I said, give me the head manager. I convinced them to sell me the ladder so that I could have it in my house.
Wow.
Are you following me, Dana? Okay, good. So if you look down there, that used to be the bookcase where I kept, I have no idea what he's doing. He's laughing. I can't see him. All right. That's the bookcase where I used to have all my books, but I changed it into more of a trophy case. So the interesting thing is most of the trophies on here are not mine. They're my father's from working at Disneyland for 40 years. So if you come in a little closer, you can see all of these trophies. You can't buy these. These are trophies that, well, you got to work there. This one up at the top, this is for working there for 40 years. And these things, these suckers are heavy. This is like not like a plastic trophy. This is like solid bronze or something with a nice wooden base to it. And well, I asked my mom if I could have them for this, and she gave them to me. So I think it's awesome because I get to keep them on display and share them with people.
Wow.
This is the 15-year one. I think that might be the first one, or I don't know. This one here is a plaque. Maybe this is the first one. I'm not sure what it takes to get the first one. Oh! Sorry, Dad. You got that on film? Good. So, I do have a couple trophies of my own. This one here is from first place at the Gold Cups competition for the International Brotherhood of Magicians. But that's not really why we're here.
That's yours?
That's mine, yeah.
Okay, can I come in? It's so small, I can't see. Can you go in closer? It's very tiny.
Oh, it's a joke, Dan. Yeah. Hey, Dana, can I? I know you'll come back, so I'm not going to say.
No, this is a family show.
No, I was going to say, let's see your trophy from the International Brotherhood of Magicians, and you were going to say, oh, well, let's see your wands from the Magic Castle, and then I was going to put my head down, but we don't have to go through that.
Okay, so we'll just skip that because I got 5 of them.
That leads right into something that is kind of cool, that is more like the things you've been sharing on this show and tells, which is this badge right here. I feel very lucky and privileged to have this badge. If we go up here, this man right here is John George Harrington, the man that I was named after, my mother's father, my grandfather. He was the battalion chief for LA County Fire Department. And so when he passed away, I was given his badge because I was named after him, which is really cool to have.
Wow, that is great. What a treasure. I wasn't being sarcastic. I meant that. That is a treasure.
Oh, I thought you were back on the other joke, and I thought you said, what does it measure?
Oh, what does it measure?
So,
treasure.
Yes. Well, would you like to go in the theater?
I would love it. I love this part. We're going to make you full screen here. Just say something. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay.
Can you think of any magic words to get into the theater?
Open sesame.
Oh, open sesame. Now, when that opens up, we usually have music. It actually triggers a sound to have music, but I turned the music off because it would make this me talking to you very difficult. But it creaks like that, and then it has music. It has really cool music playing. So when you walk in,
well, I think you should just do that. Go when it opens live. I think it's really effective.
And come on in. This right here is the Harrington crest. My aunt gave this to me when I made the theater, which I think is amazing to have. And if you come in, we got all kinds of cool things. It looks like you're in a castle, like an old castle. So if we could turn this way over here. All right, so when I was building this, my friend James Markowski was helping me. And James and we would build this. We would work on this almost every day for weeks on end. And I thought, well, I need to name a room after him. Now, what he does is he's a sound tech. So I named the room that has all my sound equipment in it, the Markowski, after James Markowski. And then my other friend, Doug Brewer, who I've known for over 20 years, he says, I can't believe it. You named a room after James Markowski. And he was just joking around, but he's like, what about me? Am I chopped liver? So I said, you know what? I'll name the crapper after you. And he laughed and thought it was funny. He went home. But the next time he came back, follow me, Doug Brewer. So it says the Brewer, gas engineering at its finest. So this is the restroom in here. You don't need to look in there, but the interesting thing is Doug Brewer is an amateur magician, but semi-professional. He's, I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's a wonderful magician, but he has a day job, and his day job is that he's a landfill gas engineer. So this is so appropriate. Gas engineering at its finest. And then this little thing here is supposed to be like a stylized fart. So that is for Mr. Doug Brewer. Now, out this way, these little cubby holes are just filled with kind of cool little knickknacks and things that I thought would look interesting on the way in. I plan on, putting different things in there maybe as I get them that maybe fit in the holes and have more meaning to them. But these ones actually have a lot of meaning. This was my grandfather's watch, and this was my wife's grandfather's watch. And we just happened to have these two watches that were from our grandfathers. So we thought, wow, what a better place. Let's put one on each side of Houdini. So that's what we did there. So these locks, they were just given to me, and I thought they looked cool, so I put them in here. I need to come up with a better story. Like, I'd be like, yeah, these were used by Houdini. Okay, they weren't, but maybe I should go with that. Again, just cool stuff that, when people walk through here, they're like, ooh, what's that? That's cool. Now that door here, this door is not actually a door. It's just meant to look like a big castle door, and there's a reason behind this. When you come in, I didn't want you to just immediately see that there was a theater there. The idea was that you walk in, and you're kind of exploring and seeing things. When you get to this step up here, and you turn, then you're like, oh my gosh, there's a theater. So let's experience that right now. Why don't you walk right on past me, and you can look, and you go, and normally that's what happens. People are like, oh my gosh, wow. So this monkey was built by Joseph Yakovetic. You can see there's some gray spots on it because it actually broke, and I got to get the gold paint to paint it. But that head flips around. This is the side of the head. The monkey is screaming. On the other side is more pleasant, nice monkey. And I do have a top hat that will be hanging from the hand. It's going to be able to lower down into the audience when it's all done. But I normally would perform in here or have magicians over and we talk magic. However, with the whole COVID-19 going on, I have set this up to do shows, virtually. And this is my setup. It looks like a mess, but I've got a 32-inch monitor here with my with my computer over here. I got some different outfits that I wear over here. That's the camera. And I take my notes over here on things I want to remember in the show. Again, it looks like a mess, but it's actually organized. I know what I'm doing here. I just did a show today.
What else do you have for us, John?
Well, I have something that I think is one of the neatest things that I have. It's the coolest things. And when I say I have it, my mom has it right now. But one day I'll have it.
Oh.
And that.
So she doesn't give you everything.
No. But
Okay.
this is a picture that I had commissioned by a Disney artist, Joseph
Wow.
Yakovetic, the same gentleman that did the monkey. And if you don't know who Joseph Yakovetic is, he's worth looking up because he does fantastic paintings that are in the gallery there on Main Street and I think in a couple other places in the park. But what he's known for, and I think magicians would love this, is that he hides things in the paintings or shadows that should look like something else. So his paintings are very magical in a way because of that. So when my father was, when he was retiring, I didn't know what to get him. So I came up upon this idea of having Joseph, paint this painting. And,
Yeah.
he loved Disneyland so much that I knew that his retirement, like, it wasn't like, oh, that old job, he loved Disneyland. He always loved Disneyland. And this painting is so cool because my dad got to meet Walt when he was a young boy. And
Wow.
he met him, right? He
Yeah.
met him right where you see him in the painting. So that's Walt shaking my dad's hand, which my dad did. He shook Walt's hand. So what I did is I found old pictures of my father that were about the age that he tells the story, which he says, he says he was about this age, which I forget. I looked it all up and I can't remember. What does he look like, 8 or 9 here? I don't know. And that's his sister, my aunt, holding the Tinkerbell thing. And so this is like a reenactment of what happened. There are no pictures of this moment. So we recreated it.
Oh,
right?
that's really cool.
And now the other crazy part is that everything else, every other person you see in here is a relative. Every other person.
Oh, everybody, a relative of your dad's and you and all that, right?
Yes, yeah. So if you look behind my father as a young boy, you'll see a young lady and a young man in a cowboy suit. That man is me.
So that little boy is you.
At age 3 or so, I gave Joseph all of these pictures of our family, and he painted me in holding my mother's hand. So my mom is, let's see, I don't know how old she is in this picture, but she's probably 30,
Oh.
And my dad that picture of my dad is when my dad was a young boy. And the young lady next to me is my wife. And my wife looks like she's 4. I look like I'm 3 or something. And in reality, my wife is 10 years younger than me.
So, okay, the math is wrong.
The math is wrong, but it's just a cool painting.
Or some kind of screw up time travel thing happened. Okay, I see.
Yeah. But the guy, the other cowboy that you were looking at originally over Walt's shoulder, that's me too. That's me.
That looks like you, yes.
It is me. And that's in the costume. That's the exact costume that I was wearing when I performed sometimes in the park and that's how I met Joseph Yakovetic. So he drew me
Oh, wow.
in the costume that he met me. And you can see
it looked very similar to the costume I used to wear in the park.
Yeah. It was like a gambler type.
Like a riverboat gambler, yeah.
Right. Well, and then standing next to me in that costume, it's hard to see because there's some glare on it from the picture, but is my wife, and she looks like in that picture maybe she's 20 something, So
okay.
So now what else do we have? So if we look at the canoe, that's my dad doing the canoe. So every single person on that canoe is a relative of mine.
Everybody, and who's the guy in the light tan jacket just by Walt, because it looks like Michael Eisner.
Oh, yeah, that's my grandma and grandpa.
Okay.
And
that's great. So everybody, the kids in the stroller, the people way in the background, everybody is somebody from your family. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's really cool.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad I get to share it. It was, I know that it was one of my dad's favorite, things. I think, when he retired, I just think it was, it's a transition. It's not the easiest transition always to stop doing what you've done for 40 years. And we had a big party, and I think he really enjoyed getting this.
Yeah.
All right, John, I have something I want to share with you. Since we met at Disney so long ago, I have something that actually came from Disneyland. See this right here? This is the Love Tester.
You know what that is? I used to go in the Penny Arcade where they had that. What's interesting is I can see the light is at the bottom. It looks like you used it last, huh?
No, when you were here last, and you got the poor fish, and we decided to never use the game again. So, it's down there, poor fish. It's been such a sad sight. So I thought I'll change it today. Anyways, this used to be the Penny Arcade at Disneyland. I picked this up at an antique store at the Orange Circle. The guy that owned the store used to work at Disneyland. He was a manager of the Sunkist store right next door. Do you remember that place?
Sunkist store?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, I used to love getting those little candies, the Sunkist candies.
Oh, yeah, and the orange juice and everything. So, anyways, he had this antique shop in Orange, and when Disneyland downsized the Penny Arcade, he got a lot of their stuff, and he gave me a call, and he says, come down and take a look. And so I got the Love Tester. So, let's try it out. I got a quarter, and put it in here. It came from Penny Arcade, but yet, it takes a quarter. There we go. Now I got to put my hand on the old meter. There we go. Let's see.
Let's see what happens.
I feel good about this. There we go. All right. Oh!
sure. It's rigged. It's rigged. Rigged it. Totally rigged. I don't buy this for a moment.
That's great. What does it say? Uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. So there you go, from the bottom to the top. So anyways, there you go. That's the love tester. All right. So now we got to close this off, John. So I can't think of a better way than you are in your theater and you do some magic for us. Can you do that?
I can do magic for you. Now, I thought it'd be fun because you know me as a close-up magician, because that's what I do at Warren and Annabelle's, is almost all close-up magic with a couple things that maybe are like parlorish. But I wanted to show you something different that you haven't seen me do. So how does that sound? Something brand new I've been working on.
Sounds great.
Great. Well, one of my favorite things in life to do is to spend time with my nieces and nephews. And my sister's youngest, Katie Jo, well, her favorite thing to do is to go to a stuffed animal store. Now, not just any stuffed animal store. She likes to go to the kind where there's no stuffing in the animals. That's right, there's unstuffed stuffed animals. She goes in, Katie Jo goes in, picks out one of these unstuffed stuffed animals, which is kind of weird. They're laying around in these weird, awkward positions. She picks one out, she picks out an outfit. And then through the help of one of the employees, they put stuffing in it and a little heart and bring some magic and life to it. I thought it'd be fun to show you how I, John George, how I do Build-A-Bear. I hope you like this.
That was great.
Thank you. This is Calypso.
Hi, Calypso. We've met. Oh, you can hear Luigi in the background. That's his applause.
Haha, thank
Can
you.
you hear him?
Yeah. So this is my favorite new little project I've been working on, is working with Calypso.
That's great. That was great. I love the music. I love the presentation. Everything. That was fabulous.
Thank
How
you.
about a big hand for John George? John, thanks so much for giving us a tour of your home, your secret bookcase, the hallway, and the theater, and everything else. It was just a lot of fun. I appreciate you doing this for me, buddy.
Thanks for having me on. It was great fun. It was good to see you, and I can't wait to work with you again soon.
Likewise, likewise. Let's all say goodbye to Mr. John George. John George.
Don't forget Calypso.
And Calypso. Bye.
Bye.